So we're going to talk about Exodus 4 through 6. There's a lot, of course, we could say about this, but I'll just maybe pick up a couple highlights on that strange situation with Zipporah and the circumcision story. So chapter 4 is still finishing up that conversation between Moses and the Lord, and Moses is trying everything he can do to convince the Lord that the Lord should choose someone else. But you're not going to convince God on this one. God has decided that Moses is going to be the person. And there might be something here, especially when it comes to ministry, that the people that God calls are often those who feel unworthy, those who feel they're not able to do what God is calling them to do. And that's probably the best situation, because the last thing we need in the church is overconfident people who trust in themselves and think it's all about them, right? Oof, it's preaching myself here. Then we hear that Moses does leave, and as he's leaving, the Lord does say things like that Israel is my firstborn, and Pharaoh has killed my firstborn, and so that leads kind of prefigure that God is going to judge Egypt by taking their firstborn, just like Pharaoh has been killing the firstborns of the Israelites. So there's some interesting things there. Also, when Moses does start confronting Pharaoh and he gets all the Hebrew leaders on board, it gets actually worse before it gets better. They persecute the Hebrews more. They make them build their own bricks with their own straw. All these things that life actually gets much and much more difficult. And sometimes that's true. Following the Lord, sometimes it gets harder before it gets easier. Again, emptying of our own resources, emptying of our own pride, emptying of our own self-confidence so that we continue to trust in the Lord. But now there's that strange situation. I think it's at the end of chapter 4. Just I want to make a couple notes on it because it's just so strange where they're leaving, and the Lord confronts Moses before they get to Egypt, before he talks to the Hebrew elders, and it says that the Lord is about to put Moses to death. And it seems like he's about to put him to death because his sons are not circumcised, and Zipporah circumcised the sons and then takes the blood, the foreskins, and puts them on Moses' feet. Very strange story. Not a lot of context, not a lot of explanation. I looked up a couple different ideas here, and the one that I thought was interesting was comparing this story where Moses is about to enter into this fight with Pharaoh, going up to a very difficult situation, with Jacob returning to Esau, and when the Lord confronted him and wrestled with him and made him hold on to God and his promises. Well, maybe there's something similar going on here. Moses is about to be the leader of God's people and lead out a whole group of God's people, all of them out of Egyptian slavery, this huge monumental movement, and yet he hasn't done the simple thing of circumcising his sons that Abraham would have told them that all of the Hebrew boys were to be circumcised on the 8th day. And it was a way of saying, you must be completely faithful and obedient to me, and you need to lean on me and trust in me, even in this very small way, before you're going to lead my people. So it's a very strange situation. Maybe you have other ideas on that. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of direction as we get into the section tomorrow on the plagues. So this is such an important section of Scripture because this is going to come up. The story of the Exodus out of Egypt will be brought up over and over again by the prophets, over and over again, the pictures in the exile, and most importantly, over and over again in the life of Jesus as they celebrate the Passover, as Jesus is seen as the new kind of Israel in the gospel. So understanding the Exodus out of Egypt is a foundational teaching and story that is repeated throughout the Scriptures. So subscribe if you haven't already. Get other people reading the Bible with you, and we'll see you tomorrow.